Hi, I'm Megan Weldon.
And I'm Amy Copperthwaite.
And this is You Know You're a Simulationist, Win. So, we put out on social media, You Know You're a Simulationist, Win, and we got so many good responses, we had to share them with you. So, our producer Nate put together this fancy board over here, and we're going to go over each of them.
Yeah, and we'd love to hear what you have to say about You Know You're a Simulationist Win. So please add your thoughts to the comments.
You know you're a simulationist.
Hold on, it's stuck.
Win.
You have so many vats of urine and blood laying around that the serial killer would be envious.
Do you remember when we were at the airport and we were traveling with the Avcath?
Oh, gosh.
And we were bringing it to a demo. And we were at the TSA, and we go through security, and the guy goes, "What is this?" and holds up an IV bag of urine, and you look at me, and you go, "Oh, we forgot to take the urine out." And the guy just goes, "Do I need gloves?" And we're like, no, it's fake urine. It's just water and food dye. The look on his face was horror.
So what I thought you were going to tell was the story when we were visiting an international community and we had the Av stick in the bag and the blood leaked out of the Av stick. And when we opened our suitcases in the airport, there was blood everywhere, all over my hands, all over everything, because we didn't turn a stopcock. And so we had to quick run to the bathroom. You don't remember this?
I have no recollection of this.
Oh my gosh, she must have blanked it out of her memory. It was one of those events where it was like, I have simulated blood, but this looks like the real thing, and I'm not in a simulation environment. This could really be bad.
At the airport, though?
Yeah, we were in the airport. It was after we got through customs, like we had to pick up our bags, and I must have felt something. I don't know why I looked, but
I don't know.
But there was some blood
We could do a whole segment on traveling with simulation equipment through TSA, though. All right, let's go to the next one.
All right. You can improvise anything at any time, anywhere.
Always.
100%.
Always.
I think the biggest thing for this one was the time that the mannequin died in the middle of the simulation.
Oh my gosh.
And we had to, again, improvise the fact that the mannequin wasn't breathing. The SPs in the room didn't know that was the case. And so, was it a pediatric mannequin where this one happened?
Yeah. I think that they just, again, were like, they're like, "Oh, the patient's not responding." And they were like, "No, I can hear him. I can hear him responding." Like, it was like,
yeah.
"No, he's good. He does this sometimes. It's fine. It's normal." Yeah.
All right. Ready to move on to the next one?
Yeah. You want to do it?
All right. We've got a little bit of a clue. Normal day includes asking your boss to purchase. Fill in the blank.
Anything. All of the things.
All of the things.
Urine. Blood.
Poop. Poop is probably
Vaginas. Uncircumcised penises.
Do you remember those times where we would walk through the hallways of McDowell Hall and
oh my gosh,
be carrying different genitalia or have the mannequins stacked on top of each other?
Even at like exhibit halls, we'll walk around and like cover mannequins because I'm just like, this is not appropriate. We just need a little more privacy for the patient here.
Would you cover our Avcath and our Avbirth?
If it's out, yes.
Purchase a new butt. Well, I was close. I was close. I get the prize.
Yeah, for wound, yeah.
I had to purchase sex toys. When we were developing the Avcath, I had to purchase sex toys with the University of Delaware comp card or whatever, procurement card, because I wanted to make sure that the genitalia of the female looked authentic and realistic. So we tried to utilize that. It didn't work, but it was kind of like that early prototyping. And I remember my dean asking me, like, what did we purchase from X
what is this website from?
Thankfully, it was on a grant, so she didn't ask too many questions. But yeah, that was a pretty embarrassing moment. I did look it up at home, but I then purchased it with the P card from the university. Yeah.
What is it, like spam on the computer? New virus coming on there?
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next one.
Lust after well-organized places.
Oh my gosh.
And
facilities with room.
With room.
Okay, so you want to find out the best places to visit. Megan and I, every single time we go to a different area or visit a sim center, we ask, what's the first place we ask to visit?
The storage closet.
The storage
or
room.
Yeah.
The storage room. So if you ever
Wherever
want to
we
know.
we literally look at them. We're like, where do you store things around? Like, looking at this space, just wondering how you store things in this area. And then, like, go in and, again, fangirl over everything of, like,
Literally.
would you look at these shelves? Just look at the way these move. I mean, again, whenever we go to any sim center, it is, can we do a tour? And then, again, so where do you keep everything? Let's check
that's our
that
primary
out.
is where you keep it. So let's go over some of the top ones.
Brigham Young is my number one. The way they designed that sim lab was so smart. They have a way of distilling water on site. So they don't buy distilled
Coolest
water.
ever.
And again, they did the entire sim lab with $3 million. They got, donor funding and built the whole thing out. And the way they built it out was like an actual simulation person went in there and said, this is the way it needs to flow. And they actually listened. Because I feel like that's the other problem. I talked to so many people and they're like, well, it was supposed to be that way. But then by the time the architects got involved and everything else, like, it didn't end up the way we wanted it. But that sim lab is like, oh my gosh. And they have like walls that fold up into the wall or into the ceiling, so they have walls that can come down and then they fold back up again, like almost like a garage door. They're SP space, so the way that they have it, they have 2 doors that go into the room. So again, you have your SP lounge, you have the hallway, and then being able to come in. I mean, again, that is one that I don't hear often, but kudos to them all the time.
And for those of you that are looking for flexible health assessment space, their exam tables go up and down into the wall as well. Like, they're like portable-ish. They're kind of like Murphy health assessment tables, which, again,
who doesn't want a Murphy
completely
health
lusting
assessment
over that
table?
I know you would say number 2 is California Baptist.
I love Cal Baptist, yes.
Yeah.
Their sim lab is run by a theater person, and I remember talking to her because they have not a lot of storage, but they do so many different things and they're so versatile. And I remember talking to her and I was like, how did you think of this? And she's like, I'm theater. Are you kidding me? We would get like a broom closet and have to figure out how to store all of our like play stuff and then bring it out the next year. So everything they have is completely collapsible. It takes up no space. But again, it is so well thought out the way that they have everything. They even have like costume rooms. So they have like all of the costumes that are set up on racks. I mean, again, amazing.
And I would just say anybody that's building a new sim space, go visit 4 or 5. Ask people in your area, where would you visit, where should you visit, because the ones we've named are on the West Coast. But get some information, take in some things, interview people to say, what would you change if you could? And then my other last piece of advice on that is make sure you are at every possible meeting on the building of the space. I missed one meeting for our sim space that we were building, and all of our SP lounge and our SP hallway, all of that got nixed because there was nobody there to advocate for it. And it was heartbreaking, literally heartbreaking, because it had all gotten approved and it was done. So again, visit spaces and be an active, involved part, and don't let them tell you no.
All right, next one.
We could lust after well-organized facilities.
I could talk about this for hours, honestly. If you want to just call me on the weekend and we'll talk about sim centers, that sounds like
totally
fun time. All right, next one. Looks at all the medical TV shows with scrutiny. This is why I can't watch Grey's Anatomy, because when I was in high school, she'd complain the entire time about how stupid it was and walk in and be like, this is the most unrealistic, stupidest thing I ever heard in my life.
They had the nasal cannula on around their head. You never do that. That's stupid. People could
I don't know what to tell you. I didn't create Grey's Anatomy.
Yeah. I will say that as a simulationist, what you're doing is trying to look for the realism or the authenticity. So the nasal cannula, hopefully all these simulationists out there know how to put that on properly. But you're trying to look to see if it looks realistic or authentic, like a wound or a... But I remember when we first came out with our products, we actually had a movie set want to buy one of our AvTrakes. Buy one of our AvTrakes for a movie. They didn't end up doing it, but it was one of those things where they were looking for a tracheostomy patient, and they, it was something that they could put on that would look realistic and authentic to the actual patient. So we actually have been approached by Hollywood at one point for the authentic and realistic look of our products.
Hollywood, baby. Yes, that drives me insane, is if you see a bruise or something like that, and it's literally just like a red splotch or something like that. It's like, what are we doing, guys? What are we doing? Or like you'll see them put like just blue on someone's lips. It's just straight blue. It's like, guys, we've got to do better than this. And now they have like bruise tattoos. Like, again, that was never a thing back in the day. That didn't exist. So again, like you can get those off Amazon and things along those lines where, again, it's just like a temporary tattoo, put it on. You have that as an option. There's no excuse to do bad moulage. Like, shouldn't happen. Last one. I made poop today. Not like that with my hands.
I made it both ways, actually.
Okay. So, when we did the ostomy simulation.
And a very good simulation, I might add.
Okay. This was back in the early days when we did the ostomy sim. And Amy's idea was that we were going to put dog food in the ostomy.
Well, you got to teach him how
Wet
to deal with
food.
something that smells and looks disgusting. If you put chocolate pudding in there, it's not going to be nearly as offensive or potentially offensive. You have to make it realistic and authentic for the learners.
The biggest issue
take it on for the learners, Megs.
That there's no windows in said room. So that room smelled like dog food, like just old dog food for
Stinky
like
dog
6
food.
months.
No, that's exaggerating.
You couldn't air it out. There was no way to air it. Oh, no. It stayed in that room that you would walk in and you'd be like, oh my gosh. So it was to the point that the entire sim lab ended up vetoing and we went to chocolate pudding because we could not deal with the long-term effects of using that.
I will say that one of the things that I wasn't sensitive to in the beginning was the fact that the SP would have to hour after hour sit in the room, and I never thought about it from the SP experience. I was trying to have, I could take one for the team, but I was in the facilitation area.
No, you take one from the team in the control room. See you later. I'm going to go over here.
I mean, it still had a little odor to
I'm
it.
so sorry. That must have been hard for you. That must have been really hard.
When you think about it from the SP's perspective of sitting in that room for hour after hour with that smell.
I would say you would go nose blind at a period where it's like you just didn't smell it anymore.
See, then why aren't we using it?
Because every time you walked in the room, it was like, oh my gosh, someone opened a window. No.
So do you have any that you would add to this list? You're a simulationist win?
Oh my gosh. You didn't eat all day and you didn't realize until you're actually going home. Going to the bathroom, same thing. Just add on to that one. Didn't realize until the very end of the day. Moving mannequins, I think, is one of the weirdest things that you ever do, and you don't realize it until like you're talking to somebody or like looking back on that experience of like, oh yeah, no, you have to like support the head, but like their butts are really heavy, so that's the thing that really sinks down hard. Like all of that of just moving them.
Well, and the limbs are pretty awkward.
For me, I always think of it more from like the SP management side, and that when I think of like having to have SPs who are fighting to do the psych break simulation to the point that we had to like hide it and like not tell people it was a thing because we had so many people who would want to do it and get angry if they weren't cast in the psych break simulation.
Well, I think we're not the only people out there that have SPs that would be frustrated if they weren't cast for a certain role.
The craziest roles. Yeah. No, do the craziest ones. Yeah.
Or just 100%. Specific roles that they get connected to, or, you know, I think that's been something that I've heard kind of consistently. I think the biggest thing for this, from my perspective, is I remember when we were trying to come up with what we were going to put on the bags that we were going to take to conferences to give away. And, we were talking about it, and I said, well, just put the definition of a simulationist, because that definition is going to resonate with a lot of people. And so we came up with that definition, and we actually now have some shirts that say the same thing, because we got such a positive response to that, and it resonated with so many people. So it does, you have to schedule your bio breaks, and that you take your meals in the control room and things along those lines.
If you're allowed to eat in the control room, because I hear that all the time, that people go, oh, my people are going to give me crap that this talks about eating in a control room. I don't let my people eat in a control room.
Whoops, I didn't know that.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
that's a big thing.
back in the day, I didn't have a choice. But I think the other thing is that this talks about lusting after well-organized places and facilities with room. I would also say spends time searching for other places within the building to incorporate simulation, to grow the program. So that was we were just always trying to appeal to the School of Nursing to say we needed more space.
Borrow and steal, always.
Yep,
Yes.
and we ended up acquiring several rooms, but there was one room just as you entered the building, and it was a huge, it was like actually a double room, like huge. It would have been fantastic to be able to enter in there and do simulations.
She redesigned this building about 15 times.
Sure did.
About 15 times.
Sure did.
I'm surprised you don't have mock-up somewhere of your construction plans
I
for
do.
McDowell Hall.
I literally do.
Yeah, okay.
Still to this day. Well, this has been fun.
Yeah.
Do you want to throw it? I
Yeah.
know that that's something that they do in the
that wasn't as satisfying as I thought it was going to be honest with you. That wasn't that great. All right. Well, let us know if you guys have any other ideas for you're a simulationist if ...
or when.
Let us know. Again, we'll be doing a series on this. Love to hear you guys' thoughts.